Imagine waking up every 15 minutes with your entire immediate past wiped clean. You recognize the face in the mirror, but you have no idea how you got in the room, whose blood is on your shirt, or why your heart is racing. This brain scan reveals a catastrophic hardware failure. The damage to the hippocampal region means the brain can no longer write to its internal drive. Information enters the mind, but it never sticks. It simply dissolves. Sanjay Singhania lives in this permanent loop. He is a man covered in scars and rage, acting on violent impulses he can only understand once he reads the meticulous notes he's left for himself. Every time the clock resets, Sanjay has to reconstruct his entire existence from scratch. Because he lacks a continuous narrative of his own life, his self effectively vanishes 4 times an hour, only to be forcibly reborn through the physical evidence he keeps in his pockets. Before the injury, Sanjay mastered a different world. He was the CEO of Air Voice, a Silicon giant he built into a national empire. He was a man of total corporate dominion, accustomed to long-term strategies and global influence. Then he met Kalpana. She was a model who knew nothing of his billions, a woman who once risked her life to intercept a human trafficking ring on a train to Goa. Their romance was built on that shared, quiet integrity. That bravery ended in tragedy. The trafficker she exposed, a man named Ghajini, tracked her down. He murdered Kalpana while Sanjay watched, and then shattered Sanjay's skull with an iron rod to leave no witnesses. The corporate empire and the woman he loved were gone in a single night. Sanjay was left with an echoing void of trauma, a pain so deep it persists even when his mind forgets the reason for it. Hunting his syndicate boss usually requires months of patient surveillance and complex memory. For Sanjay, even remembering the face of his target is a battle against his own biology. Since he could no longer rely on his brain to store data, he engineered an external operating system. He needed a way to ensure his mission survived the inevitable 15-minute reboot of his consciousness. He turned to physical media. Polaroids provided orientation. Meticulously written notes provided context. Every time he restarts, he spends the first few minutes reading his own handwriting to remind himself who to trust and where to go. But paper is fragile. For the ultimate directive, he went deeper, carving the command, "Find Ghajini, kill him," permanently into his own skin. Sanjay didn't rely on his feelings to sustain his quest. He turned his own body into a physical manifesto of grief, ensuring his purpose remained even after his memory died. In the field, the reset is a moment of pure vulnerability. Sanjay wakes up in mid-combat or a high-speed chase, but the second he sees the tattoos on his arms, his confusion is instantly weaponized into lethal focus. Tracking Ghajini through the dense, chaotic streets of Mumbai adds immense environmental friction. He is navigating a labyrinth where every face is a stranger and every turn is a first-time experience. During the final confrontation, the physical system and biological rage converge. The sheer adrenaline of seeing Ghajini, the man from the photos, triggers a spike of focus that bridges the gap in his memory long enough to deliver the final blow. Sanjay's victory demonstrates the lethal efficiency of organized pain. When trauma is converted into a rigid, external system, it becomes a force that can outlast even the most devastating biological limitations. Sanjay's methodology provides a masterclass in human resilience. He didn't wait for his brain to heal. He engineered a way to be effective while he was still broken. He used his trauma as a transmutable fuel source. He accepted his 15-minute window as a constraint and built his entire life around maximizing the output of those short bursts. Most of us wait for motivation to strike, but motivation is internal and prone to the same resets Sanjay faces. It fades when we get tired, when we get hungry, or just discouraged. Sanjay succeeded because he replaced unreliable internal drive with unyielding external systems. When your mind wants to quit, the rules you've tattooed onto your schedule are the only things that keep you moving forward. Long after the revenge is over, Sanjay remains in his loop, now volunteering at the orphanage named after Kalpana. He still forgets, but the system he built now directs him toward kindness rather than killing. True resilience lies in building the external structures that make it impossible to forget why you started in the first place. Purpose, when properly systematized, is the one thing memory cannot kill.